Right, finally onto the real meat of editing in Resolve. We're going to take a look at the Edit panel in this lecture, but first we need to open it up and find where it is. Down here at the bottom of the screen we have several icons. There's an icon here with several bars with a strike running through them, which reads Edit. We're going to left click this, and this will bring us to the Edit panel. Now, let's look at what we've got here. We'll start to the left and work over to the right. Now, on the very left, we have our media pool and our bin list, just like in the media page. We can also import media directly into our project in this panel by holding Control or Command and hitting the letter I. This will open up an import window, and we can then use this to navigate to whatever it is we want to import and just bring it in that way. So for this project, bins have already been created, and you can see how I've divided timelines, rushes, and audio up here. The navigation is the same as the media panel. Double click a bin and you can open it up. In fact, single click a bin and it will open. And you can see everything we've got here. Now, going up and to the right, we have the first of our two monitors. This is called the source monitor. So we need to find a rush and double click on it. Notice that the chosen rush opens in the source monitor. The source monitor lets us review and mark our footage in the media pool before we put it on our timeline. This is an essential part of the editing process, and we will be using this monitor near constantly throughout this project. One over to the right, we have the program monitor. Now this is blank right now, but I'm going to click and drag this rush down onto my empty timeline below and see what happens. Now that we have something down here on this timeline, we can see the flame under the playhead on the program monitor to the right. This orange line here is the playhead. The playhead dictates what we see in the program monitor, and I can click and I can drag my playhead around. This is called scrubbing, or I can hit the space bar and it will play, and you will see that the playhead moves across the timeline at the right frame rate in order to give us a film. So the process of editing is to take many different items and place them on the timeline in a sequence in order to create a finished film. Now up here we have a zoom bar, and this is quite important. I can click and I can drag this to zoom in and out on the timeline itself, not in the program viewer, or I can hit the plus and minus buttons to get closer or further away. We're going to want to use this quite a bit when navigating our timeline. Now, the last thing I want to take a look at is the inspector pane, and we go into much more detail on this later on. If I click on a clip down here, it will become highlighted in orange. Anything highlighted in orange in Resolve, as we have already said right at the start, is either active or selected. I'm then going to click this icon right up here, which looks like both a spanner and a paintbrush. When I click this, I lose my source monitor, so I have to click on it again and close it down if I want my source monitor back. In here we have all kinds of options we can use to change things about our clip, and we will take a proper look at this later, so don't get carried away with this just now, but it is here. And if you're already familiar with other editing programs, this is basically where you find Resolve's version of motion effects in Premiere Pro. Right, so we've now got a basic handle of the layout of the edit panel. Next, we're going to look at making new timelines and controlling all of the relevant settings before we begin our edit. So click on through to the next lecture once you're ready.